Hello, we are Hmong Folklore After Dark. What you're about to hear is a true story, not just one, but many fragments of memory from different people in different places, yet all marked by one common thread, the presence of something unexplainable. So now, turn off the lights, sit back, and listen. I was born in 1971 in a refugee camp in northern Thailand. Life was hard, but I was too young to understand how dangerous the world really was. My parents had fled from the mountains of Laos during the war. We lived in huts made of bamboo, earth, and hope. But this story isn't about war or poverty. It's about something else. Something that followed me from that time and still lingers even now. It began in the summer of 1979, when I was 8. That summer was so hot, the elders said. When it gets this hot, even the spirits wake up. I didn't believe it. I was just a kid. Back then, my favorite thing to do was sneak off during funerals, because funerals meant food. Sticky rice, goat meat, papaya salad, sweet drinks. Until one day, during the funeral of an old woman 3 huts down, I wandered around the back and found myself alone near a small altar. The incense was still burning, thick and sweet. That's when I saw him, an old man sitting beneath a banana tree. I hadn't seen him before. He looked at me, smiled with almost no teeth, and said, "Boy, I always see you at funerals. Aren't you afraid of the dead?" I laughed. "No, sir. Why would I be?" He nodded slowly, as if he knew something I didn't. "They see you too. You're not like the others. You're open. That's dangerous." That night I had my first dream. A shadow entered our hut without opening the door. It floated, didn't walk. It hovered at my feet, then climbed on my chest and pressed down. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't scream. My brother woke me, said I was choking in my sleep. I didn't tell him what I saw. The dreams continued. The same shadow, sometimes just watching, sometimes climbing on top of me again. Sometimes I'd hear it whisper nonsense in my ear. Other times I felt it trying to pull my soul out of my body. I'd wake up gasping. When we moved to the US in 1980, I thought I had escaped. We arrived in Des Moines, Iowa. Cold, quiet, safe. Or so I thought. But the dreams came back. By high school, I was still being haunted. One night, I found myself dreaming of a hallway with red wallpaper and no doors. I walked for hours until I saw one rusty door. It opened by itself. Inside was a room filled with bones. In the center sat a figure, tall, thin, too long to be human. It rose, no face. But I could hear it breathing, heavy, angry. I screamed and woke myself up. For the first time, I told my mother. She listened quietly and said, "In Laos, we used to say, if a spirit crosses the ocean with you, it means you brought it. It's not the land, it's you." She took me to a shaman. There was chanting, chickens, incense. It helped, but it never really ended. By 30, I was married. My wife, Teresa, was smart, logical, a nurse. She thought it was all just sleep paralysis. Until one night, I switched sides of the bed just for fun. That night, she woke up screaming, holding her throat. She described the same faceless thing I'd seen my whole life. From that night on, she never slept in that spot again, and she believed. That meant everything to me. I tried everything. Priests, therapy, candles, salt circles. Then came the strangest night, my 38th birthday. I dreamed I was in a dead forest. I followed a path where people walked in silence toward a giant hole in the earth. They stepped into it one by one, without fear. Then a man in a gray coat appeared behind me. His face was too perfect, his eyes silver. He said, "You weren't supposed to come here. You were mocked. Do you remember the old man at the funeral?" He stepped closer. "You were a gate. Something crossed through you. It chose you." "For what?" I asked. "To live." The ground shook. The people screamed. Bodies turned to ash. The man touched my forehead and everything went white. I woke up drenched in sweat. My wife said I spoke in a voice that wasn't mine, guttural in a language she didn't know. That was the last straw. I set up a room in my father's old basement. No electricity, just candles, holy books, salt, family pictures. I prayed, I wept, I screamed for 4 nights. On the 4th, it came. But this time I didn't run. I stood my ground. It lunged at me, but when it touched the salt, it screamed. I yelled, "I'm not afraid of you anymore." It vanished. That was 10 years ago. It hasn't come back. But I still sleep with a light on, just in case. Another man, Eric, told his story too. He was 27 at his cousin Johnny's funeral. Someone whispered, "Don't look through your legs at the coffin." But grief makes people do strange things. He did it and saw her, a grey-skinned woman, eyes glowing red, hair to the ground, not looking at Johnny, but at him. After that, she followed him, in mirrors, at 3:33 a.m., standing in his room, breathing, always watching. He finally admitted he'd taken something from the funeral, Johnny's scarf. The shaman said, "She sees it as stealing. That's why she won't let go." The scarf was burned, the spirit banished. But Eric never keeps anything from the dead now, not even a flower. Then came Brandon's story, returning to his mother's village in Ubon Ratchathani. He slept in a guest room, dreamed of a girl crying, white eyes, dirty feet. "Why did you leave me?" she asked. She was Molly, a cousin he never met, a girl his mother once helped raise. She drowned at 16, alone, forgotten. She didn't know who Brandon was, but he felt familiar. She started showing up, in the room, eyes black now, growing thin, silent, watching. The shaman said she was angry now, not just sad. Brandon gave her a bracelet from his mom, but even in Bangkok, she followed him until he burned the charm, and she disappeared. Another family nearly bought a house in Frogtown. Lisa's son, Jaden, said he had a new friend there, the boy in the striped shirt. Lights flickered. Water turned on by itself. Voices screamed, "Get out!" She ran. Later, they learned the house had been the site of a double murder, never solved. After they returned home, strange things still happened. Jaden kept talking about the boy. And one day, a toy car he'd never brought back from the house appeared in their hallway. A paranormal investigator shared what happened in a cemetery. He saw a shadow, tall, over 8 feet, moving silently between the trees. He asked, "Who are you?" His recorder captured one word, "Liev." And finally, the story of a boy who grew up next to a cemetery. It was a playground once, familiar, harmless, until one hot summer. Doors creaked, objects moved, and he saw them, faceless figures gliding through the gravestones, gathering outside his house. His parents didn't believe, but every night he heard them, felt them, watching. Friend, what you've just heard, these aren't just ghost stories, they're warnings. When you open yourself to the unseen, it may not be you who chooses to see them. It may be them choosing to see you. And if you ever see an old man beneath a tree at a funeral, don't answer his question. Just walk away. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to Hmong Folklore After Dark for more stories from the mountains, the spirit world, and memories that never sleep.